Hey gang, I got an offer for you today from LinkedIn. As business-to-business marketers, your needs are unique. B2B buying cycles are long and your customers face incredibly complex decisions. Isn't it time you had a marketing platform built specifically for you? LinkedIn ads empower marketers with solutions for you and your customers. LinkedIn ads allow you to build the right relationships, drive results, and reach your customers in a respectful environment. On LinkedIn, you have direct access to build relationships with decision makers. Of the 875 million users on the network, 180 million are senior level executives. 10 million are C-level executives. You will also be able to drive results with targeting and measuring with their tools built specifically for B2B. And best of all, they work. Audiences exposed to brand messages on LinkedIn are 6 times more likely to convert. LinkedIn ads also rank number 1 for security, community, and ad experience as part of the Business Insider's Digital Trust Study. Make B2B marketing everything it can be and get a $100 credit. It's a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. It's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply. Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. It's about the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm Seth, as you already know. If you've been listening to the show, you definitely know. And I am here with Dr. Tia Lyles-Williams of LucasPye Bio, of the HelaPlex, which sounds like something like from Star Wars or something.
Yeah,
Or more Star Trek, actually, the HelaPlex. I'll meet you at the
almost.
HelaPlex. That's the thing that's going to be in Southwest, right?
Yep, that's the campus, and affordable housing will be on that campus and mixed retail with our partners,
Oh, that's
Urbane.
awesome.
So
The
that's what the
HelaPlex.
full campus would be. But HelaPlex is inspired after the name Henrietta Lacks from the Gila Cell. So that's where that name comes from.
Oh, it sounds so cool. I like it.
Yeah,
It sounds very scientific, futuristic. Oh, I like
it
that.
is. It is.
So, Tia, how's it going?
It's going great, man. This couldn't come at a better time. Just signed another customer for LucasPye Bio that has their stuff ready to go today, including funding. We're
Great
excited.
timing.
Great timing, great timing. So we just onboarded them. We initiated part of tech transfer operations, and we still have a little bit more to do. It's hitting the ground running, so we're happy,
That
excited.
is fantastic. So, you are a 2-time life science startup founder in the biomanufacturing space.
Yes,
Correct? Okay, I'm cheating. I'm looking at your LinkedIn profile right now.
all good, all
I'm
good.
totally used to my eyes going over there. I'm like looking over there, and then there's a bunch of acronyms that I'm not going to read because I don't understand any of them. But
All good.
but you've been doing a lot. You went to school at Howard, then you went to Full
Mhm,
Sail, and we're not done. We're
mhm.
not done. We're not done, guys. We're not done. Full Sail. You went to USC, and
Yep,
if that wasn't enough, then Jefferson gave you a doctorate. So it's like,
yep.
and on top of that, you've done a lot more in the business side of things. You've been very busy, which is good. So let's start at the beginning. So have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, or is this something that you kind of developed along the way, or how?
No, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur since day one. I didn't know it was going to be in life.
You came out wanting to be an entrepreneur. You were
I
born.
came born wanting to do that. So I always was doing something, selling candy, fundraising for something at school or anything of that nature. But I knew when I got older that I wanted some type of business. It's funny story. Lucas Pablo, before it came into existence, the original idea was to go on a pre-med track, become a doctor, and set up these urgent care clinics in rural America areas.
That could be
And
neat.
I wanted to do that. But through one of my cousins' mentors and his wife, it was like, "Well, at this time, when I want to do that, it's like in 2000, I graduated with 2005. So this had to be around 2008 when I
Okay.
was thinking about doing this. But the problem was at that time, they had started closing all the major hospitals, like in major
Yeah.
urban Black neighborhoods. And
Okay.
then rural areas, like, well, the urban areas don't have any money. We're not going to put in a rural area, but they don't have any money. But
Yeah.
the reason why I wanted to do that is because there still is a high fatality rate for simple things such as car accidents,
Oh, it's
regular
terrible
illness
out there.
general,
Yeah.
because it takes so long to get to the city area And I still have family that live in rural areas of
Oh,
Mississippi and Alabama as well. So that was my original goal. But once they pointed out to me, it was going to be a hard track
hmm
to get investors to put money into that, especially in that climate. And since then, they've started to reintroduce those hospitals back to those urban areas, and most of them. But I said,
Well,
well,
back in 2007, you gotta remember that was the banking
that was
crisis.
a big thing. Right, right. So I'm like, now, with life sciences, if I want to go back, which I do plan on going back, we already have a clinical partner, the Weaver Medical Center, which is down in Savannah, just outside of Savannah, Georgia. And they're one of our anchor partners for HelaPlex. So there's an opportunity to eventually get back to that original idea,
Oh, it's
and do this full circle.
that's cool because you get to do like everything. You're evolving with entrepreneurship as everything evolves. But if you can
Yeah.
pull the story around, and now you can
Mhm.
fund it a little bit, even if you need to fund it yourself a little bit
Right. And
further
that'll be more
along.
sustainable, right? Because you got the
And so
life science piece too, the
and you have the
manufacturing
experience, you have
piece.
more experience because if you graduated in '05, you're still a
Mhm.
young whippersnapper. Guys, so old. A young whippersnapper in 2007.
Mhm.
So now you got a lot more experience, and that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
Hey there, it's Jason with the Marketing Podcast Network. Real quick, I want to make sure you know that the world's leading B2B Marketing Expo is returning to the Los Angeles Convention Center on March 21st and 22nd. It's high time we got back together to learn, see the latest technologies and solutions, and network, right? Join thousands of marketing professionals just like you to learn from over 250 industry expert speakers, educational masterclasses, and over 300 exhibitors. And this year, your ticket also gets you into the Sales Innovation Expo and the Marketing and Advertising Expo. So it's like 3 conferences in one. It's March 21st and 22nd at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Go to b2bmarketingexpo.us to register. That's b2bmarketingexpo.us. The Marketing Podcast Network is a proud partner of the B2B Marketing Expo for 2023. We'll see you in LA.
So what is LucasPye focused on? Like, is there a specific part of the biology spectrum that you guys are? I mean, I'm talking out the side of my mouth.
All
Specific
good. So we
kind.
are a contract drug manufacturer. So if you heard of the large companies like Lonza, Catalent, you heard of, I hate to say, for lack of better words, the little disaster that happened with Emergent Biosolutions and Johnson Johnson.
Yeah.
Emergent Biosolutions is our direct competitor. So we
Okay.
only do manufacturing and development of those manufacturing
So like Teva
processes.
or Tiva.
Teva, yeah, but Teva is twofold. So I get in that in a minute. So that's why I
Okay.
say Emergent is a direct competitor,
Okay.
of one of our direct competitors. But we only manufacture and develop manufacturing processes for biologic drugs. So these are intravenous drugs. They are
Okay.
in liquid form, 9 times out of 10. However, we
The
do have
bags that hang on the poles.
not the bag.
Oh.
Individual glass vials with liquid in them or
Oh.
liquid filled syringes. That's what we do.
Oh, that's
The
very
bags
specific.
on a pole, that is different. Those are mostly cell therapy is in the bag on a pole nowadays. But prior to that, if you saw a bag on a pole, those are chemical based drugs. So these are what we call small molecule. That is your Tylenol, that is your insulin, most of your insulin products. That
Oh.
the
Okay.
reason why Teva is not a direct competitor because Teva is a drug company first. So they actually do discovery of some
Oh,
drugs
the
themselves,
R&D stuff.
and
Yeah.
then they do generic. So they'll recreate a drug that's already off patent on the market. We don't do that. We simply
Hence
do
all the
contract
Adderall shortage.
manufacture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole Adderall shortage. Yeah, I just Teva's like,
Yeah.
crap, we didn't make enough.
Right,
All of
right.
us poor ADHD people out there are like, crud.
Yeah,
Bring the
most of
coffee.
it.
Bring the
No
coffee.
disrespect to that community, but a lot of them like to manage it the natural way. So it
Oh,
ain't too much
hey,
of a bad deal.
all the more power to them that way. A lot of times
Right,
coffee and just
right,
strategies work exactly.
right.
So, and you're also now you just became literally just became a business mentor over in Princeton at the Entrepreneur Council. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Share
that's
the
super
knowledge.
exciting. Yeah, so Princeton has what they call I think they call an entrepreneur start program. It's very small. One of the things that I learned by getting involved with them, I never knew that Princeton did not have a graduate degree program. They are completely undergraduate. Did you know that?
And be at their university, but they are
They only do undergraduate. They do not have a graduate degree program at all. I did not know
wow.
that.
The more you know.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
I was like, huh?
nuts. I guess the kids go to Harvard for stuff afterwards.
I guess the Harvard, Yale, take your pick, Brown, whatever.
Well,
So
if you get
anyway,
into Princeton,
right, the
the
doors are
world's your
open.
oyster at that point.
That's exciting. So I'll be working with a young man named Max, and he has a proprietary, I want to say a proprietary kind of drug combination device product. I don't have all the details yet.
Yeah.
But I'll be working with him to build out a strategy to scale, fundraise, getting into commercial market, figure out which path he wants to take, if he wants to take it all the way himself, or if he wants to license it out.
Oh, that's
So I'm
wild.
excited about because that, to one, again, not knowing Princeton, they have a graduate degree
Yeah.
program, but two, me coming, from an HBCU situation, through the ranks of what I'm coming to come to a Ivy League school,
Yeah.
to mentor their startups is a great opportunity. So I'm excited about it, looking forward to it. Now we'll see what happens.
And it's not that far from home. So that's
It is
great.
not. It is not. It's only to get to Princeton for me is probably maybe just hitting an hour. It's probably a lot shorter than that. So
That's perfect. And also you go against traffic if you're going,
yep,
well,
go
depending
against
on
traffic.
when anyone that's Philadelphia, this is a little inside baseball. You never go against traffic. It's always
Right,
traffic. It's not as bad as
right.
Long Island or anything like that, but there's always traffic.
Always,
Yeah,
always,
actually, you
always.
had to pick the lesser of the evils when it comes to traffic. So anyhow, Tia, what is the best thing about being an entrepreneur? All of from being the candy salesman in your elementary school all the way up to where you are now. What's the best thing?
I would have to say the best thing is being able to somewhat control your schedule. That is kind of a
Somewhat,
myth,
yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah,
totally a
because
myth.
you're
Everyone else
depending
controls
on
mine.
what
Yeah.
exactly your customers, right? The people that pay you control
Mhm.
your schedule. So
Yeah.
I say that's probably one of the best things. But at least when holiday time and things, I can kind of make my own schedule, do what I want to do.
Go see
The
family and
worst,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'd say if you go ask me what's the worst part of being an entrepreneur,
That was the next
it is.
question. Your mind reader. What keeps
it
you up at night? Exactly.
Oh, you know what? What keeps me up at night is always when is the income coming in, the fundraising strategy,
Yeah.
I want to say the hardest part of both of those is hitting those milestones and making sure that you meet the requirements from investors, whether it's getting that first check from
Oh
them,
God. Yeah.
or getting the next check from them and making sure that you're on the right track, right? And when I say the next check from them, it's not always the next check from the direct investor. You got the previous check from, but it's the next check from who they may refer to you in their network, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things
All that
where,
schmoozing.
right. And so even though entrepreneurship is obviously very corporate, right, with the terms of business and contract and legal and all that, but on the other side of it, there is no HR in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, if that makes
Which
any
can be
sense.
dangerous at times.
It can be because you have to deal especially on the entrepreneur side. I got to deal with the temperament of the investor, right? So if they're not in the
Yeah, and
mood
your
that day,
employees too, and your employees. Like,
and your employees, but really
hey,
with them
Joe's
invest.
picking on me inappropriately. You're like, oh my God,
Well,
I'm
that's HR for that.
Oh,
There,
so
you can
you're big enough. You have HR. You're big enough. You have
right,
HR. Yeah.
and
Okay.
even if you're small enough, you may not have HR, but you still got to abide by HR rules. You
I
can't
know
just
that's the
call off and
problem. That's
cuss them out,
tough.
right? But when you're dealing with an investor,
Oh, that
right,
kind of
from a
HR. Yeah.
that there is no HR. So if the investor has an attitude that day or they got a bit of a mood, I'm supposed to just had this one example. I'm supposed to meet with one of my investors for 30 minutes. The call ended in 10. And I can tell when I got it on the phone with him, I was like, oh,
Oh, he was a little
this is not
salty today.
hey, you're right. And it had nothing to do with me. So I had
You
to
just
just
knew
write it out.
bite your lip, take it, and make another appointment later. Make it less
And
salty.
get as much information as you needed to get out quickly to get what you need in that setting because it's not always easy to get them back on the phone. So,
Oh, I can imagine. It's hard to get you guys on the phone, not the entrepreneurs. But actually,
yeah,
surprisingly, it's been interestingly easy to get you guys, all you entrepreneurs, to chat because everyone loves to tell about their story.
everybody wants to press, right? Exactly.
Everyone's depressed, exactly. So, what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
Ooh, important thing to carry with you all the time is obviously your phone, your
Yeah.
laptop,
Hmm.
and business card. You always want to
Oh,
carry that with you. I would say out of all of that, it's probably your phone. Your phone, you got the electronic business card, then you got the dot, you got
hmm,
LinkedIn where you can just scan and connect with each other very quickly. But I think the phone is probably the most important thing you can carry on you.
I love it. And what about mentally? What do you carry with you all the time mentally?
Oh, mentally, I think you always have to be patient and perseverance is the most two important things. Those two P's are super important. Patience to give yourself grace, to give the other individual, whether it's a customer or entity, investor, giving them grace to try
Hmm.
to figure out how to get the deal done. Then perseverance is because you're just gonna get a lot of no's. So you're gonna get a lot of no's from everywhere. It's going to be no's at the right time from the investor's perspective, but it
Yeah.
might be a no at the wrong time for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to be able to push through that very quickly. Take
Absolutely.
your 10 to 15 minutes, or sometimes you may need 24 to 48, maybe 72 hours to get over that no. But you have to get over it and move on and
But
maintain
a
your
no
business.
is better than a ghost, in my opinion. Knowing
It
that you didn't
is.
get it, it still sucks and it still stings, but you can move on. Whereas if you're
Right.
ghosted, you're like, did I know what the hell?
Well, to me, the ghost is a no. If you ghost me,
Yeah.
it's a no.
Yeah, it's a
So
not polite no, is what it is.
yeah, so you still got to move. You got to move past that even faster.
Yeah, seriously. So Tia, where can people find you online? What's your biggest? Where's your favorite place to hang out online? Is it
I'm
LinkedIn,
off
Twitter?
LinkedIn is my BFF. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Twitter, I don't use as often. Instagram, I use a lot, but I use it for more personal. But LinkedIn is what I'm always reading up on things, and you can catch me really quick. As you saw today, we was troubleshooting earlier, trying
You were
to get
troubleshooting on
online.
LinkedIn. I was like,
Yeah, so LinkedIn is where I'm always at. And I get alerts on my phone from LinkedIn. So
oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I've had to quiet those down after a while because as I get to know people, we've known each other for a little while. I hit the bell, and then I'm like, oh, Tia wrote something. Ooh, oh, there's a lot of
yeah,
acronyms here. I'm gonna save that and bring pull out the dictionary to read that later. This is a lot. There's a lot of acronyms in science. There's a lot.
it is a lot of jargon.
A lot of
A lot
jargon.
of jargon.
But Tia, this has been so much fun, and we'll see everyone next week.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
That was a great show. Hey, if you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please give us a review on the podcast directory of your choice. We're on all of them. And these reviews really help others find the show. Also, if you're getting value from the show and want to buy me a coffee, go to the show notes and click on the link to help me stay awake while I bring you more great episodes to your ears. That's in the show notes, and I look forward to the next episode. Take care, guys. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Joe Singer and Tom Stallings host a great podcast called Take a Breath. Joe, tell us what you talk about on the show.
Yeah, so Take a Breath is a podcast for people who are really trying to build something valuable in their lives, whether it's a business or a marriage or whatever it is you're trying to do. We help you with some hacks to build your best life.
Wow. Where can people subscribe?
You could find us on marketingpodcasts.net as well as mergeanalytics.com. And you can also find us on LinkedIn and YouTube.
And wherever you get your podcasts. So go subscribe. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.